back to Mini Mayhem. I'm UltraVox, and Season 4 continues this time with Princess Quasar Caterpillar and the Magic Bell, and Ghost of Butterfly Castle. I really dug all of the episodes this week, and we're going to break it down for all the references and Easter eggs you missed. Of course, spoiler warning, if you have not seen these episodes, go watch, then come back. With all that said, let's dive in with Princess Quasar Caterpillar and the Magic Bell. The opening of this episode was very close to what I expected. I figured it would be a parody of Star vs. the Forces of Evil itself, but I was way off from how it would be implemented. As opposed to being a show within the show, or a bedtime story, any of the sort, it just straight up parodies the characters we all know and love, and having this parody exist in their reality. The opening scene in question mirrors the climax of Bon Bon the Birthday Clown, with Quasar as Star, Hannah as Jana, and looks exactly like Jana, except only having one eye, Schmarmo as Marco, Khaki as Jackie, and Dexia as Glossaric, and Ludo has a giant fish and crab. But why is Skaki a robot? Everything here from Quasar's outfit, Schmarmo's fishbowl, and Hannah's one eye gives me the illusion that this is a lot more alien than anything we've seen connected to Muni. I know it's a one-off gag, but I'm very fascinated with the lore here. Is this another planet as opposed to dimension? Alternate universe? What gives? It looks like it's another dimension, but then is this one that parallels the timeline and inhabitants of other dimensions? I'm not going to let this go. I need answers. Quasar herself is actually voiced by Amanda C. Miller, who provides the English dub voices of Sailor Jupiter and the Sailor Moon redub, and Boruto Uzumaki. Now, Star vs. the Forces of Evil has a lot of influences to Sailor Moon, so this was a pretty neat cameo. Instead of trying to summon the spirit of Bon Bon, Quasar and Hannah are trying to summon the spirit of Nob Nob. Bon Bon spelled backwards. Ludo's soul-searching, and a bit of insanity that we saw at the end of Ludo Where Art Thou, has seen brought him to repeating his life of villainy, pursuing Quasar's magic bell, as opposed to Star's magic wand. As expected, Ludo loses, and doesn't retrieve the magic bell, which shows us how he's struggling to become a successful villain, without the manipulation and guidance of Toffee. I believe deep down, Ludo's relapse isn't just out of bad habits, but because he needs to prove to himself he's capable of being a villain without being used or manipulated. He just doesn't realize it yet. As Ludo was floating in the void, we have a callback to Ludo in the Wild. The piano music, narration, and sense of emptiness within Ludo. That's one of my favorite episodes of the entire series, so it's nice that they paid homage to it. Dennis surprises Ludo with Bird and Spider, although Ludo does not recognize Bird, which continues the gag from the end of Ludo Where Art Thou.
And I'll take care of Bird, too.
I don't know who that is.
Dennis reveals he's bought the remains of Castle Avarius as a place to move into with Ludo. We haven't seen Castle Avarius in ages, as it was blown to smithereens by the Whispering Spell, Toffee, and Star and stormed the castle. But Dennis wants to rebuild the castle and Ludo's legacy, repairing Ludo's throne, and employing several monsters that are once a part of Ludo's army. Barracorn, Giraffe Monster, Man-Arm, Big Chicken, Spike Balls, and Bat Monster. Giraffe Monster pulls out the mini portal maker from Independence Day, owned by Toffee, which he sabotaged to ensure Buffrog's elimination from Ludo's team. This is yet another nod to Toffee in a season with a slew of nods already, though thanks to the other episode in this batch, we'll get to Toffee real soon. Now, some very important things to note here. Ludo learns that Eclipsa is alive and is in possession of the wand. Despite this not going anywhere in this episode, this will be something to remember. Ludo was another person under the impression that Eclipsa was long gone and dead, unaware of her crystallization. A confrontation between these two is inevitable, which I can't wait to see how that interaction goes. I wonder if Ludo's family has any history with Eclipsa, as she did date a Kappa that looked much like Ludo as revealed in the Book of Spells. This also puts into question how much Ludo knows about Eclipsa's magic, how much he fears her, if at all. This is going to play a huge role into the bigger picture of the show's story. I also want to make note of the strategies Monster Arm and Spike Ball suggest for Ludo to claim the wand. Monster Arm believes he'll manipulate Eclipsa into falling in love with her and subdue the wand from her through marriage, while Spike Ball believes Ludo will go into the Monster Temple and take the wand by force. Both of these methods could be foreshadowing for Coronation, the mid-season finale, or anything beyond it. Again, I've talked about my expectations and ideas for that episode. How it could be the new battle for Muni. Whoever has the wand and is crowned ruler leads Muni, with Ludo as one of the participants in this struggle. That seems to be more likely now, though marriage could be an allusion towards Glob Loveberry, making us doubt his intentions. But in that case, it could also be a red herring. Going in and taking the wand by force could be setting up the role of Mina Loveberry. We'll get to her in a minute. However, we learn of what will likely become Ludo's actual plan. When he learns that the Monster Temple is the new mini castle, he remarks he knows that place at the back of his hand, revealing he would use his soldiers as a diversion, sneak up to Eclipse's sleeping quarters, and take the wand for himself. I wouldn't be surprised if this plan does happen. This scheming upsets Dennis, to which Ludo makes the very solid and obvious point that surrounding Ludo around all these things that defined an instrumental chapter of his life is not going to help him get any better. Yet, Dennis tries to kick Ludo out, which I found very weird concerning the aforementioned, when the land baron who so does the castle arrives and reveals that the contract for the castle was a scam, ripping Dennis off in the fine print. This leads to Ludo making things up to Dennis by projecting onto the land baron his lust for the wand, and having Burn eat him. Ludo just orchestrated a murder. I think if Ludo can channel this learning demeanor for future encounters, then he'll be a force to be reckoned with. This episode ends on a warmer note. Ludo brings Dennis to reclaimed Castle Avarius, this time with their siblings that were first mentioned in Face the Music: Yudo, Dudo, Kudo, Mudo, Tudo, Fudo, Zudo, and Menudo. The entire family is reunited, minus Ludo's parents. With Ludo likely at the helm, they could slowly shift into a more sinister role, depending on his motives. But for now, Ludo and Dennis partake in a game of basketball, as the scoreboard reads, Ludo versus the forces of evil, implying that Ludo may not be an antagonist after all. But if he's still after the wand, which again, many things were established in this episode that are bound to have payoff, then it may just mean the forces of evil to him, which would be everyone pursuing the wand for their own purpose. But wrapping up this segment, let's move on to Ghosts of Butterfly Castle. As we predicted at the end of Down by the River, Moon and River's attempt at a retreat from Muni's conflict has quickly developed into a full-blown community. Many humans have now migrated to the forest, even starting their own marketplace for things such as fruit. Yet, this has caused conflict to follow the humans, as residing in this forest has led to arguments and disorganization over who gets to use resources such as the water in the stream for laundry. We also learned that the humans departed from New Monster Town without even consulting Eclipsa, assuming she wouldn't be willing to work with them, bargain, and figure something out, something beneficial for everyone. Their prejudice and assumptions drove them out. Moon decides to embark to Butterfly Castle to find her day planner, though River encourages her to be a little selfish. As things are, she's still acting as a queen, as a leader, and the villagers have started a rumor that Eclipsa cursed Butterfly Castle, once again showing their bias and assumptions. I actually like seeing Moon explore the ruins of Muni's villages and castles, once again giving weight and consequences to Meteor's rampage. It wasn't just rebuilt in a day off screen. The humans are being lazy as we know they are, and Eclipsa being more focused in her efforts to free Globgore, it makes sense everyone just decided to move elsewhere. We also have some musical reprises. Moon's theme returns as she enters the ruined village, and a rendition of the castle theme from the beginning of Moon the Undaunted plays when Moon enters it. Getting a little dark, Moon encounters abandoned armor, though it's portrayed to give off the idea that these are the bodies of fallen soldiers that were never properly recovered, which is also a strong possibility. Moon also stumbles into a destroyed statue of Skywind, the Queen of Hours, the first queen who has an entry in the Book of Spells, and, as her title implies, invented many spells tied to the manipulation of time itself. Moon enters her armory, where we have a lingering shot of her armor, something that I assume will be worn at least one final time before the end of the series. And within the armory's vault, aside from her daily planner, lies quite a bit of gold and diamonds. So unless the castle is looted, I think Moon and River are still very wealthy. Following a distinct noise, Moon finds herself down a hallway of repaired tapestries from Muni's queens throughout history, though they seem to either be moved or duplicated from the grandma room. We can see the tapestries of Skywind, Eclipsa, Selena the Shy, Crescenta, Festivia, Justin the Boy Queen, Estrella, Moon herself, Solaria, and Comet Butterfly. Shortly after, we encounter a crow, then a petrified crow with a yada yada berry in their mouth, calling back to the episode Yada Yada Berries for an impending reveal. The ghost of Butterfly Castle is none other than Mina Loveberry. But real quick, let's talk about the significance of crows. Crows are often associated imagery with death, Perhaps the use of crows here is supposed to signify the death of Muni Castle, the death of the kingdom, what once was Muni, separate of the Muni to come. Or it could be a death flag for Moon herself, or even Mina. Probably not though. God, I hope not. Mina's been guarding the castle to prevent anyone from infiltrating and robbing the place, not only restoring all these tapestries, but idolizing Solaria's. Though, as we see a different Solaria tapestry in the hallway, we can infer Mini Castle has multiple tapestries made for each and every queen, answering that question earlier about the grandma room. Mina also reveals she's been growing yada yada berries. She's the culprit behind trying to take out Eclipsa. A lot of people predicted this, so it wasn't as much of a shock to me, though I speculated Eclipsa herself could have been behind it. While I'm not disappointed by this outcome, I do wish they went with something a bit more compelling, yet this helps us establish our rogues gallery for the season. Now, we covered Mina Loveberry's origins before in a video. Check that out if you haven't, but it's briefly touched on here. During the Monster Mumin War, Queen Solaria and her genocidal rampage against monsters created Solarian warriors with a series of spells, Mina being the initial test subject. Not only were the Solarian warriors empowered with the strength and abilities we see from Mina, but their minds were more or less broken, which is why Mina is the way she is. Yet she won't see an issue with it, and still idolizes Solaria to this very day. Solaria is her queen, but it makes you wonder why she wants to get rid of Solaria's own daughter so much. Mina believes she'll always be a soldier, just as she believes Moon will always be a queen, which in a way holds weight spiritually, considering what we saw Moon build as soon as she departed from Muni. Mina runs off, continuing to develop her plan to dethrone Eclipsa, yet Moon decides to remain uninvolved, trying to prove a point to Mina, and more importantly, herself, that she doesn't need to be queen, validating River's earlier sentiment. But we can see River is visibly distressed by the idea of Moon remaining uninvolved from the impending conflict. As Moon decides to treat herself for once, we end on an ominous shot of crows soaring through the sky, once again planting the idea of death in our heads. And that brings this breakdown to a close. What did you guys think of these episodes? Were there any references or hidden meanings that you think we missed? What were your interpretations? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts to me at OstricVox, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own takes, you can find me at OstricVox. We're also on Instagram. Help the Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please sort of like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. OstricVox, out.